Just letting you know, it doesn't matter what you believe in or what you don't believe in, this video is still meant to entertain you. So I've been attending church every week since I was, well, 0, I guess, because my parents would always bring me along. Now, what exactly is church to most people? A place of worship, expressing gratitude, or maybe finding spiritual fulfillment, but not for me because I was 6. And I was usually thinking about simpler things like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon and Inuyasha and beating the Elite Four, not who or what created the universe. Seriously, that's a pretty deep topic for someone who's still learning how to read, or use a toaster without supervision, for that matter. And since I thought church was boring at the time, like for a lot of other kids, my parents would have to drag me out of the house to go. That or offer some sort of reward after. Come to church and I'll buy you fries. Sick! So if you've never been to a church, here's a quick breakdown. Show up, sing some holy songs, read some passages out of the Bible, sing more holy songs, the pastor will talk more about the passages, even more holy songs, lectures about what we learned from this week's Bible, even more lectures, prayer and self-reflection time, then the church hands out little bread chip things and wine. And of course, even more holy songs! Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Actually, there would be a closing song. Then the pastor would wish everyone a good day and to embrace the Lord, and then church would be over. Pretty easy to follow, right? Unless you fall asleep every time like I did. That made things a struggle. No matter what it was, I was out like a light. What? Hundreds of people singing, couldn't stay awake. Hundreds of people yelling, "Praise the Lord!" And I'd still be unconscious. Church would spend hundreds of dollars on a state-of-the-art mic and speaker system. Nope, I'm still struggling trying to not fade into the realm of unconsciousness. My mom would elbow me in the ribs to get me awake, but then I would just fall asleep again in the next 30 seconds. A meteor could probably crash through the roof, and I'd probably still be snoring. What? Now, I didn't mean to fall asleep, but as a young kid, it was hard to be interested in these Bible stories that I never really understood. Sometimes they would mention dragons and angel wars, and I thought that was tight, but that didn't happen too much. So not falling asleep was hard, especially since some of these stories were literally about sheep. Lots of shepherds and farmers in the Bible. I would even try to count things to stay awake, like the ceiling tiles, people who had blue jackets, cute girls, the amount of people who had black hair, I don't know, but none of it worked. Ceiling tiles, okay, 1, 2. This one time, I even thought of the strategy to bring a water bottle so that I could hold water in my mouth because my logic was there's no way you could fall asleep with water in your mouth, right? That plan didn't work. I fell asleep again while sitting and basically just coughed water onto my chest while disturbing everybody in the process, and my mom wasn't even surprised. However, there were 2 things that kept me awake. So on the shelf where they kept all the songbooks, there would always be these little paper pamphlets, and I would fold them into paper airplanes. And that kept me awake, but I guess one of the church worker ladies saw me and she was like, "My pamphlets! How could you do this to my pamphlets?" Couldn't keep doing that, so I just fell back asleep. Oh, and the second thing, well, sometimes there'd be at the front of the church, there'd be a choir, and there would just be a really great skilled violin player that could play the violin really good. And they were hot! Yeah. Now that's something I would pray to if you know what I'm saying. And if I wasn't falling asleep, I was doing that thing where you slowly lose consciousness and your head falls backwards and then you jolt awake because you feel like you're falling. But if there's anything else that keeps me awake, it's when someone is doing something stupid in the bench in front of me. This one time I was sitting behind a family and right in front of me was their dad carrying his sleeping baby daughter, and beside him was one of his kids, probably no older than 5. So while we were singing songs, the 5-year-old would stand on the church bench and then he would pet his little sister on the head. Cute, right? So he's just rubbing her head gently, and then he went from head patting to sticking his finger up her nose and just going back and forth. This is getting weirder the more that I think about it. So he's going at it like a machine, and at this point I'm choking, trying not to laugh. Then somehow it just gets even worse, so he's just nostril pumping and then he stops. And then I guess he was trying to kiss his sister on the forehead this time? Yay, cute, but like we saw before, that didn't happen properly. So he's going for her forehead, but he wasn't tall enough. So to close the distance, he just decided to lick his sister's head for some reason. And then he just keeps going. I would probably describe it like, I don't even have words. It was so bad. But the image of just this, it was too much for me because I had to leave for a few minutes because I was about to burst out laughing. Peace. Yup.